All right, this is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. I have another exciting episode. This is another question and answers. Actually, this is just one question, and this is an important question. So I thought I would make a video just for only this question, because also this question may take me some time to answer. And this is a question that's very important, and I'm glad this person asked it to me so that I could answer it. Once again, if you do email me over YouTube your questions, I don't have the time to respond personally to every one of them. I do often read them, and in many cases I will respond to your questions with a video, and if not, I do apologize. I have like over 20 pages of messages. That's 20 pages times like, I don't know, 15, 20 messages per page, and I mean every day like 5, 6 more messages come in, and I just can't keep up. I gotta keep making videos, and I can't worry about answering emails. If you also post to my profile, I don't often, answer those questions either, but I may make, once again, a video like I am now to answer those questions. The best way to get a response to me is if you do reply or make a comment on one of my videos that's pertinent to the video. If it's not pertinent to the video, then I'm not going to answer, but if it's pertinent to the video, then many times I will answer it, and that's the way I'm most likely to reply. In any case, let's go ahead and get into today's question. Today's question is from Flying Emu 27. I've been watching your videos for a while now, and I have to say that you're really inspired me. Well, I'm glad I can inspire you. I'm living in a college dorm right now, but that isn't stopping me from growing plants. I currently have at least 30 plants and sprouts growing, all of them edible. Sounds crazy, but it's awesome. Hey man, you should make a video, put that up to show what you could grow in a college dorm. Title it, What You Could Grow in a College Dorm. All right. With that said, the reason I'm writing you this message is because I have a small favor to ask. I'm going to be giving a persuasive speech for speech class, motivating my classmates to grow a portion of their own food. I was just wondering if I could have a few statements from you that I could use in my speech. Specifically, I'm looking for things like why you garden grow food, the difference it has made for you and others, the benefits, etc. Anything else that you think would help persuade an audience would work as well. Let's see, question goes on. I understand you're probably really busy with a lot of things, but I would really appreciate being able to share words from you with my class, since I would say you are probably one of the most credible sources out there as far as experience goes, and certainly by far the most out there and inspiring. If you can't respond though, I totally understand. Whatever you decide, keep fighting the good fight. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Well, I'm going to respond. I picked your question because it's an important question. And, it brings me back to when I was in college and I actually had a demonstration speech. I forget what I did for my persuasive speech, but my demonstration speech, and oh my God, I was like one of the worst public speakers. I used to say, and like the teacher would hold up his hand, how many ums I'd say during my speech. And, I do say sometimes, even now when I make my videos. But you know what? I'm just a lot better because, I had to grow in to becoming a better speaker, because it was like something that I needed to do to get my message across to people. So I'm glad that this kind of just grew on me, and I'm a lot better now than I ever was. Anyways, I gave this demonstration speech back in college for demonstrating how to change your oil in your car. And so I had like a box which was like the engine block, and they actually like screwed in like an oil pan from my car, because I had disassembled engine and stuff, and showed how to change oil. And it was really funny, like, I don't know, months later after the talk and after the class was over, the semester was over, I saw one of the girls at a local shopping mall, and she's like, hey, John, thanks to you, I changed my own oil in my car. And I was like, wow, that's like so rewarding that she actually changed her oil because of my talk, and, hopefully to know that I'm making all these videos and I'm making a change and a positive change in people's lives, and people are growing food because of little old me. I am just a man. But it's great that I could have this influence, and thank you for being my viewers once again. So anyways, let's go get into the question. Let's see, the questions were looking for things like why you like to garden, grow food, the differences it's made for you and others, and the benefits, and anything else you'd like to add. So I think I'd like to just go down the list. I basically have about 12 things that I'd like to go over that, why growing food is so important, and, why I do it, and also it'll encompass some of the benefits. So let's get started with those 12. So number 1, food is a basic need. Of all the needs on earth besides water, we need food to survive. So either you can depend on other people for your food so that you can survive, like other people growing your food, other companies that manufacture your food, or in that case, also, in my opinion, you're ignorant about, about life, because, if you can't provide for you and your family, I don't know, I think you're ignorant if you're not taking the time to learn how to grow your own food, because it's an absolute necessity. We all need to eat. Wait, there's some things called breatharians. You can look into them. Supposedly, breatharians don't need to eat, but I don't know about that. So grow your own food and be empowered. And, don't be ignorant any longer, because you can do it, and I can help. Wait, isn't that somebody's corporate logo? Wait, I don't know if I can say that. So that's my number one reason for growing food, is because we all need to eat, and it's a basic need. What is it? Food, shelter, and then there's Maslow's laws of needs, whatever. I don't know. I didn't do too well in psychology or well, anyways. So back to the program. So number two, another most important reason for me, and this is in no particular order, although these first two or three are actually my top ones. Number two for me is the health aspects of growing your own food. There is no healthier food on this planet, in my opinion, than food you grew in your own front yard, your backyard, your own food forest, or wherever you're growing it. Why? Well, number one is because when you grow your own food, you know what's you're putting in the soil. Hopefully you're not spraying pesticides, you're not putting chemicals, you're growing in compost, which is rebuilding the soil, you're putting in rock dust, you have the full spectrum of minerals. You're also picking your food, hopefully, taking it inside and eating it. And there have been studies that show after you pick food and, within 24 hours, 50% of some nutrients are lost. And what do those nutrients do? Well, a lot of people don't know what those nutrients do, but why shortchange yourself? Why not give yourself every possible advantage? The highest quality nutrition, the best quality food by growing it yourself. So the health benefits, besides the other fact that I need to eat, is probably the second biggest reason why I started to grow my own food, so that I could eat healthier and be healthier. And that's huge. I mean, in today's society, obesity and overweight and people out of shape are just running rampant. And one of the reasons for that is because people are not eating the foods that nature has provided us with. Every other animal on earth eats natural foods right off the plant, live. Right off the plant. Deers will come up and munch on this. They don't take it and go home, put it in their fridge, transfer it across the country, and then buy it and then eat it. They eat it fresh. All animals eat it fresh. So we should be eating the foods fresh too. The other reason why you could get healthier if you have a garden or grow your own food is because you're going to get exercise. And that's another reason why people, I think, are overweight in our society today, because you know what? They're couch potatoes. They're watching the football game. They're not out shoveling, digging, moving compost, lifting heavy pots, doing work. So when you're out in the garden gardening, you're getting physical activity, building your muscles, building your endurance, because sometimes gardening takes full days at a time, and you're also eating healthier. Plus, the other thing is, it's shining right in my eyes right now, the sun. You get sun, and when you have sun on your face and your body is exposed, you create vitamin D free and clear. And there's a big vitamin D deficiency nowadays in America, and that's because probably people use too much sunblock. And that's a whole nother subject that I'm not going to get into. But anyways, gardening for health. Huge reason, that's why I do it. Number three reason why gardening is so good, saves money. I don't know, I saw a thing on the news, actually just last night, that food prices have just doubled. Produce prices specifically have doubled. And because produce prices have doubled, also meat prices have doubled, because there's a shortage, and they blame it on the frost that hit Mexico, and a lot of our food's coming from Mexico and this and that. So, they double the price because there's scarcity. So, you know what, if you grow your own food, and in many places you could grow your food year round, even some vegetables or herbs in your kitchen, actually sprouts in your kitchen. I don't know if you tried to buy sprouts lately, but a little container of sprouts, 5 ounces of sprouts in the store is like $1.50, $2, maybe $3, depending on where you live. You could easily sprout some sprouts in your kitchen any time of the year. You could grow, buckwheat sprouts, or buckwheat greens, or sunflower greens in your kitchen year round. And actually have an episode on, growing wheatgrass in your kitchen and inside. You could do the same thing with buckwheat or with the sunflower greens. So save money. It's also really huge and really important. Number 4, taste. Taste is a huge reason why many people, including myself, grow their food. And some people I know, they might not care about the health aspects. They might not care about saving money. Maybe they're rich, but you know what they really care about is the taste. Maybe there's some chef. I mean, I met a guy that my friend bought a car off of in San Francisco. He erected basically the large Harbor Freight greenhouse just so he could grow his own tomatoes, because he's that fanatical about, tomatoes, how they tasted from his country when he grew them himself and he came to America, and they taste like crap because the tomatoes in the store are picked too early, and they're, hybrid varieties that are disease resistant, that are pink, that aren't red. And when you grow your own flavorful tomato, I mean, people know, if you've ever tasted a homegrown tomato compared to a store-bought tomato, there's no comparison. But now imagine, everything can be like that. Not only the difference in tomatoes from store-bought to homegrown, but my kale. I brought my tree collards to a potluck the other night. And, most people, I told people, you got to specifically try to eat the tree collards straight up. Don't put any dressing, don't put anything on it. And, I want people to have an open mind. And they did. And some of the people came up to me, wow, John, your tree collards are amazingly sweet. They never taste like this in the store. I'm like, well, yeah, right. Because, once you harvest produce, you hydro-cool it, you then ship it across the country, and it's been a week out from the time it's been picked, the nutrition starts to go down. And in addition, the flavor changes. If they always say don't refrigerate your tomatoes, because if you refrigerate your tomatoes, it loses flavor. Well, the same thing's happened to all our greens, all our foods that have been refrigerated. It loses flavor. Freshest is bestest. I like to say that. Another reason why I grow my own food is what I call pride in ownership, or more appropriately, pride in growership. So when this really started happening to me is when I was in, college or after high school. I started fixing my own car. I change my own transmission, or I do my own brakes, or, I change the transmission fluid or change the oil or whatever, and I'm driving down, and you could just feel that your car drives better. And you're just like, yeah, I made my car do that. So the same thing, when you grow your own produce, you're like, you feel a part of, what you've done with your own two hands. You grew it, and you just feel like you feel proud that you were able to do something and grow your own food. When I bring my food to a potluck, I'm like, yeah, I grew that. And people are like amazed. But my other message is that you could go too. You could do it too. You could grow your own food too. So pride of growership. Really important to build up your self-esteem. I mean, we don't want to talk about self-esteem. I mean, so many self-esteem problems in this world. And I'm not going to say all the self-esteem problems can be solved by growing your own food, but that could definitely be a part of it. Number 7, another reason why I grow my own food is it's good for the planet. Whether you believe in global warming or not, having more plants and more greenery on this planet can only be a good thing. You can't deny that there's definitely rainforest destruction going on at incredible speeds. And, one of the reasons why the rainforest destruction is basically, from what I've heard, is for like growing it for cattle, or growing it for cattle, or growing feed for cattle. So if there wasn't such a demand for cattle, then maybe they wouldn't need to destroy the rainforests. So once again, vote with your dollars. Grow more your own food, eat whatever you grew, and, support big industries less. It's only a good thing. So save the planet by growing your own food. Also, you're going to save petroleum too. If you live in New York City, a lot of the produce in the wintertime comes from Mexico or even California, shipped 2,000 miles across the country. In addition, if it's conventional food, they're spraying, petrochemicals and other things derived from oil. And, there's this thing called peak oil, where they say, we're at the peak of harvesting the oil, and, from now on, the oil that we harvest out of the ground is now going to diminish and go down. And one day, they say, we will run out. So I think saving our resources, all of our resources, the world's and the Earth's resources, collectively, the people's resources, not the companies, because the companies basically extract it. Then the companies say, oh, I extracted it, so I own it. Well, I don't know. I think, all the resources of the planet belong collectively to everyone. But in any case, grow your own food and help conserve the world's resources. So in addition, they say that topsoils are depleted of nutrients. And by growing a garden and by enriching your soil, and I don't mean with Miracle-Gro, I mean, or with petrochemicals or conventional fertilizers, I mean by building the soil the right way. I have an episode on the best fertilizer. And the best fertilizer doesn't come in a bag. It's what you make in your own yard. It's from taking leaves, taking manures and composting them and making garden soil, adding in things like rock dust minerals, ocean-grown minerals to remineralize the soil of the earth. If everybody did this, we could all rebuild our soils of the earth and make the planet a healthier place, one person or one garden at a time. So another reason why growing your food is so important is because it's more nutritious. And you can look up studies online where they basically compared conventionally grown food, the standard conventional way, with organically grown food. And, in many cases, and not all cases, they show that organically grown food is more nutritious than conventionally grown food, with using petrochemicals and stuff like that. That being said, I bet you dollars to donuts that your own organically grown, homegrown, mineral-rich foods blow away even industrial, organic grown food. Why? Because, there's other things that go into the soil besides just the nutrients, There's intention, there's love that you basically put into your foods when you're growing it. You love the foods, and they're going to love you back. And, also, most organic growers don't put rock dust in. So the more nutritious the soil, the more nutritious your plants are going to be. And when you're growing it for yourself, hopefully you want to make the best soil that you could possibly make so that the food you grow is going to be the healthiest and highest quality and nutrient dense food that you could have. In addition, why the food that you grow is going to be more nutrient rich is because, once again, you're going to pick your food and then take it inside and process it and eat it right then and there. So there's this thing called, prana or chi. Maybe if you're Chinese or Indian, it's prana. They also maybe call it biophotons in Germany, where they're all researchers and stuff like that. Maybe you might want to call it life force or life force energy, where we all have this energy. We're all energetic beings, and food contains energy besides the vitamins and minerals. It has this energy within it, and they quantify it by calling it biophotons in Germany. There's not really a name in conventional science about it. But when you pick foods that are alive and you eat foods that are alive, then that life force is then transferred to you. They have this stuff called Kirlian photography, and they take pictures of foods that are alive, and you can see the energy radiating from the foods. And they have foods that have been cooked and that are denatured, microwaved, and there's just not that same energy. So do you want to be alive by eating live foods, or do you not want to be alive by eating foods that aren't alive? So once again, growing your own foods, you could have the most vibrant, most nutritious, biophoton-rich, alive food. So another reason why it's so important to grow foods is for the kids. The kids are our seeds or our future generations. And you know what? Most kids today in America, if you ask them where the food comes from, most of them might say McDonald's. Maybe some of them will say grocery store, but I bet hardly any of them will say from Mother Earth. And from the earth. Food comes from the earth, from the ground. I mean, we're all conditioned in this society to think food comes from a package. Food comes from the grocery store. And that's why most people aren't growing their own food, because they're going to the grocery store to buy their own food. I want to be, hopefully, in the forefront and making that shift in people that food comes from the earth and that you can and should be empowered to grow your own food. So do it for the kids, because, if kids think food comes out of a box, and generations go by that food comes out of boxes, man, it's not going to be a good thing. I mean, once again, looking at all the obesity, I mean, if you ate McDonald's 30 days, your blood pressure will go up. There was actually a movie, Super Size Me, where the guy did eat McDonald's for 30 days, and it wasn't a pretty sight, and the dude, actually, his health declined. And by eating processed foods and foods from the store, it's not the healthiest you could do. The healthiest you could do, in my opinion, is growing yourself and eating it fresh. Another reason for growing your own foods is because you could have more variety. So many times you may see me have episodes on foods or plants that you never heard of. And I do that for an important reason, to have more variety in my life. I mean, variety is the spice of life. But I love varieties and I love growing different foods because every different food, number one, tastes different. So if you think, oh yeah, it's so boring to grow your own food, just grow lettuce and kale. Well, yeah, lettuce and kale, that would get boring. But, if you could grow yacon or Jerusalem artichokes or red variegated sorrel or magenta spring lamb's quarters, golden purslane. So many different crazy things you could grow. They all have different flavors, different textures, different tastes, and most importantly, different nutrition. And when you grow it yourself, you choose what you want to eat. And when you let somebody else grow your food, guess what? You're letting them choose what you're eating, right? Because farmers grow what'll sell. Farmers aren't going to grow what isn't going to sell, and they're going to, whatever they grow, you're going to have to buy or you're not eating, right? So grow your own food, have more variety, get more nutrients in you, and have more taste sensations and flavors. I mean, some of the taste sensations are insane. My favorite taste sensation this past year was my lychee tomatoes when they're at complete ripeness. Oh my God, they're so good. Look it up, lychee tomatoes. They're insanely good. I can't wait for next year's harvest. Oh my God. Another reason for growing your own food or for growing food is to build community. And I know this now because once I converted my lawn to like an all raised bed vegetable garden, and if I'm outside, most passerbyers that are walking will actually stop and talk to me or comment on that I'm growing my own food. So I'm creating a community locally by having, talking to more of my neighbors about growing food. I even got one of my neighbors to, grow some food on their property that I manage for them, my next door neighbor. In addition, I've had people driving down my street and they stop right in front of my house and look. So my next step is I'm going to get a sign that will maybe educate people more about growing food or direct them to my website or other online vehicles so that they could learn more about growing their own food too. So building more community. In addition, I'm building community by growing my own food because I have this YouTube channel and I've built a huge community. I mean, I have over 8,500 subscribers now. And that boggles my mind, the size of big cities are subscribing to just little old me and my videos, sharing the information that I have to share. So in addition, I've gone to more gardening events, to growing events, to network with other people, to foster more community and to really get to know more people in life. So in my opinion, society, has gone downhill. I mean, if you live in a small town where you know everybody, that's great. But, nowadays, most people just don't know their neighbors. And you know what? Society is kind of doing this to us, and the news media is kind of doing this to us. They're dividing us so that we're all living our individual consumeristic lives, shopping the store, buying products, going home, watching TV. We don't have those church functions to meet with, our local community and people and to talk to people anymore. We're so private. And the internet, in some ways helped to make us more private. You could do whatever you want on the internet in the privacy of your own home, unlike, YouTube that's crowdsourced, lets people hopefully come together. But it's still private because you may think all of me in my life because I show it on video, but it's really funny when I meet one of my viewers, they'll come up to me, hey, John, and I'm like looking at them like, who the hell are you? But they know me intimately because they've seen all my videos and they know what I'm up to and what I'm doing most days of the year. But I don't know nothing about them. But nonetheless, it's still fostering community and it's a good thing. The way that society is leading us is basically dividing us all. And the famous last words are, divided we fall. And that's something to think about. Divided we fall. So grow gardens and create communities. So the last reason I'm going to talk about why growing your own food is so beneficial is, in my opinion, growing food is the best investment that you could make on this planet. Putting your money into the stock market, the stock market goes up, the stock market goes down, it could crash. But if you put your money into growing food, you will have a windfall return. Why? Well, the reason why you're going to get the windfall return on your investment is because all the above reasons. You're going to be healthier, you're going to save the planet, you're going to grow food. If you have abundance and extra food, you could sell that food to people, make money back on your investment. You're going to have seeds. Seeds sell for, 10 seeds sometimes sell for a couple bucks. And, one plant could produce thousands of seeds. So that's completely insane. So, make an investment in the future, in the planet's future, in the kids' future, and in your future. So hopefully today you've learned why gardening and growing your own food is so important for many reasons. And if you have reasons I didn't mention, please post them down below and I will read them. So once again, you want to get out and start growing your own garden so that you can reap all the benefits we just talked about. Once again, this is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. Keep on growing!